All right, so it's a hot, hot day. The dog is peering outside, seeing whether she actually wants to go out there and enjoy the more than 90-degree temperatures that we are experiencing here in Portland, Oregon. Well, it looks like she's going to check it out. Might be a bird out there. We are staying cool in the shop. It is 78 degrees in here. Had the fans on. Really nice. And it's Saturday. So nice. The phone is not ringing. I have like 4 hours to myself. Glorious. I am working on this car. This is my monster Subaru 360 project. It is 4G63 Mitsubishi powered. I've kind of not forgotten about this car. It's never really escaped my mind. It has just sat in the corner of my shop, right in this empty space, waiting to be worked on for years and years and years, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. It's a hot day. Everybody's out enjoying the boat or water skiing or swimming. And what am I doing? Sweating on putting a new steering system in this Subaru 360. If you recall from years and years ago, I had this car running and driving, and the whole point of having a powerful power plant in a Subaru 360 is I wanted 360 horsepower in a Subaru 360, which normally has 360 cc's and a two-stroke engine. Unfortunately, if you have that much power, you overpower the brakes. Nobody quite understands that. So the brakes caught fire. They scared me, scared my friends. I have now upgraded the brakes with these slotted and cross-drilled rotors, some Chevy Camaro calipers, Mustang 2 front end, and I've been having trouble with the steering. You can see the wheels are all canted, wonky. Not for long though. What we have here, we have the factory original Subaru 360 steering rack, which bolted way out front. Way out front. The steering column comes through this hole here, and it would connect here, and it would connect to the spindles behind. And they had really long tie rods. So when I connected the factory Subaru 360 steering rack to the Mustang 2 spindles, we had reverse steering. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a car that has reverse steering. It is so uncanny. People were like, why don't you drive it that way? There's no way. I just can't, my mind just can't do it. So we have a Mustang 2 rack. It's chrome right here. I've got it prepped. I've got the rods off of it. I have a new U-joint that fits on there. And what we're going to do, it's kind of tricky. I'm going to drill a hole in the body. I've already done. I wanted to keep this car as stock as possible, but it's not happening. Here's my tie rod end. I've basically got to drill a hole right about in this area to let the tie rod go through there, and the steering rack is going to be mounted as far forward and down below in the car as possible. So the tie rods will go, you can see that mark I've made, that circle in the sidewall there, or the fender well. That's where one tie rod, the driver's side, will go out, and the same thing on this side. You can see it over there, way in the back where that dent is. We're mocking up a front end. It's a little difficult because I got to keep all the rules in place. The Ackerman's principle, the caster, the camber, reading up on that, and of course the weight of the car, which I'm not sure of yet, so I don't know if my shocks are going to be strong enough or weak enough. It's a little bit of trial and error, but we're getting there slowly but surely. So today, on my Saturday, my day off, that chrome steering rack is going in the car, and of course where it needs to bolt, it's just thin sheet metal, so I've got to reinforce. This is really strong, the monocoque of the Subaru 360, the control arms used to bolt right here. This is a really strong spot, and the new steering rack has to bolt laterally this way. So I've got to make a plate welded in here and support it with gussets or whatever I need to do so that the steering rack is stable. And it's hard to do because I got to work my little body down into the area. I'm probably going to end up cutting out an area so I can see where I need to be. I've drilled a test hole here, and of course this one is way off. It needs to be way up there. So we got some work to do, and it's all fabrication. It's all trial by fire. but it's all got to work in the end. So that's what we're doing today. Let's see if I can give you any more background information. We have a Porsche 930 fuel pump wired in. We have Mazda RX-7 master cylinder and a power brake booster behind the firewall, as well as the pedal cluster. We have Mustang 14-inch vented, cross-drilled, slotted rotors, Mustang 2 spindles. It's two-wheel drive, of course. The calipers are Camaro or Chevrolet of some type. The springs and the shocks are CRX, the lightest car springs I could find. Everything else is custom that I made, and the whole rear is DSM. In other words, it's Eagle Talon or Plymouth Laser or Mitsubishi Eclipse. Take your pick. The 2.0 liter turbocharged engine with a modified turbo, a MAF translator, a special intercooler, 2G throttle body, a center force clutch, new timing belt, and I need to tune it to 360 horsepower to make my dream come true. The floorboards have all been modified to accept racing seats. The shifter cables run about 20 feet long. I'm not kidding. They run forward, loop around the transmission from the backside, because this is basically the whole front K-member of a car, and then connect the transmission, and all that's been sorted out. I also have the Eagle Talon speedometer, which I can use the stutter box, which I can also use the modified computer for no lift shifting and drag racing, so I can use the what's that called? Stutter start. I forget, when the clutch pedal's depressed. Yeah, we'll get to that later. And I've got some gauges: tachometer, boost gauge on the far left, tachometer, speedometer goes in the middle, fuel pressure, and then water temperature. And then I've got a wire and the lights. A lot of work to do. I have the whole back clip, which basically snaps on. It is right over there. I have lengthened the wheelbase. The front wheels have gone out 6 inches, so they would clear the doors. So I've got to modify the fenders, which are up in the mezzanine there. I have the doors and everything. When I first got this car, a tree had fallen on the back and it crushed the roof and broke the rear window. And at that time, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Now I do. So I'm still working on it. All right, thanks for following along. I don't know what video this is in the series, but hang tight. You may see another one soon. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in on the monster Subaru 360. Hopefully we'll be driving it soon.